You are the voice of this sport. You are the voice of tennis. You're the voice of the NFL just this weekend. But 10 years of the college football playoff. I know you've been at this for a while, but is it amazing and how fast this has gone this decade?
Yeah, I'm one of the voices. There's a lot of voices in this sport, and there's room for a lot of voices. But to have the honor of, documenting a championship, that's what we do this for, right? You want to be there when the trophy's in the building, when the confetti's going to fall. And I get the good fortune to do that in tennis for a lot of years. In the last 10 championship games of this playoff era, I never get tired of that. There's an electricity, there's a vibe that's different, which you try to explain to the players in your own way who are going through it for the first time, because they want to view it as just another game. I say, no, you don't understand. Semifinal's different than a conference championship game. Championship game is different than what the Wolverines won in Pasadena. It just is different, and it feels different. And so grateful to be able to document it.
Low snap, Melrose stopped! Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory.
The goal for Michigan when they hired Jim Harbaugh a decade ago was to be at multiple college football playoff national championships. The time has finally come for this program. You've documented and been a part of so many of these games. What do you think's finally clicked for this program to get here now to this stage?
It's no easy answer, because a lot of things have to come together, as Harbaugh would tell you. We've seen the growth and development, though. We were around for the COVID year, the dismal 20 season, and saw so many things in that team that were not Michigan-like. From the way the offensive line played to the way the culture seemed, that it was a tough year for everybody. And to see this group of players kind of rise from that and get better and better and acquire the experience that it takes and get over the mountain of beating Ohio State and then winning the Big Ten again and again and again. And now getting their first playoff win and doing so against, one of the true heavyweights of the sport the last 20 years, that's enormous growth. But again, it doesn't happen by one or two guys coming in. It happens with the collective, as Jim likes to say, and it's so impressive. We didn't get a chance to cover Michigan this year, but seeing them in Pasadena and seeing every facet of the program, the practice, the way that it unfolded, the way the players bought in and cared about each other, the energy was just tremendous. So if you're around that team a lot, maybe you saw that this year. For us, it was the first time, and you had a feeling this was a special group.
Spins and scores! Blake Corum puts Michigan on top!
Have you seen Jim evolve? You're in production meetings. You get a lot more access to him than most people in the media get to before these games. Have you seen him evolve over the last 9 years here at Michigan?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd presume to say evolve, but I would say he's had, I think, more days when he seems to very much be himself and comfortable in his own skin and at ease and assured of the direction of his program and what his players are going to give him. I think you have more confidence and belief when your players give you reason to believe that, right? And I think this group has him feeling relaxed. It's interesting, because I've been to many meetings with Jim where maybe they're getting ready to play Ohio State and things haven't been going very well in recent years, and he is uptight, and you see that he's preoccupied, and the energy is different. That has not been the case lately, I think, the last couple of years, but certainly this playoff run, very enjoyable, very engaging, very charismatic, very dynamic, talking all about different stories and philosophies. I get him talking about his dad, and he was willing to share that. So I think that his ability to spot coaching talent, to motivate them, to keep them loyal to him, to connect with players is elite. And all those things, all the components that that make a great coach CEO. And we know his involvement in the offense and his hands-on ability as well. This year's obviously been unique, not just for him, for any coach that's ever taken a team to the postseason, to not be there for 6 regular season games. And he's talked a lot about that with us. He says things in a very interesting way. His analogies are interesting. I like characters. Who wants to cover bland, coach speak all the time, right? He's not that.
We do Mondays with him every single week, and it's gold.
Have you met Kirk's dog, Ben?
I've not met Ben.
Ben loves a camera, and Ben found one here. He's a sweetheart. He's the minister of happiness.
Play fake. McCarthy scanning downfield and throws it high, and Wilson's got it. Roman Wilson weaving down inside the 10.
You walk into football buildings across the country, you log on to any social media app, and there's so many different programs over the last few years that have won national titles, won big games, and it is your voice commanding the open, the big punctuation mark. You could be that voice, Chris, here for Michigan if they get this thing done for the first time since the 1997 season. What does it mean to have that impact on so many football fans' memories and really that timestamp in their football lives?
That's a good question, because I think it really is about the fans. I mean, I enjoy calling plays in the moment, and you hope to just have the right words and be able to rise to it. Yeah. It's a privilege, it's a joy. But then when you hear back from fans that I've watched that play back 100 times, because the play is important. Right. They not doing it to hear your call, but your call is sort of married to that, right? So you get to be the voice of a play that is going to live forever in that program's history. And I've had fans from Georgia and Alabama and Clemson, and the teams that have won championships, say really flattering, nice things. So maybe it'll be Michigan fans who come up and say that. I think we had a hell of a time calling the Rose Bowl, and that moment at the end, I think we had a very good sense of that team, both Kirk and I did, of what was going to be decisive in that game. And I think the defense being on the field to end it, to win it, was fitting. And I think being able to just be a small part of documenting that was cool.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thank you.